being from Kensington, like really being from Kensington, like born and raised, not just you're there because you're getting high. A lot of people just think all the residents of Kensington are all the addicts, but majority of them are from a suburban area. Like you don't see many of the original Kensington people that grew up there like messed up. There's some, but not as many. So back in the day, like my mom died from drugs. Like I already knew she died from drugs. She died when I was 5 years old. So I already knew like basically she died from drugs. Like so I already knew what they were, but now I'm like going to Catholic school and like I'm living the little what you would just think was this great life, but it's really not. So, you know, I was like in my mindset now, like I'm being raised that drugs are so bad. So like they're bad and it's the scum of the earth. So I'm like 8 and I live in Kensington down the street from where prostitutes trick every day 24/7, where like there's constant like drug deals, like, and I live right here. My school, there's a block right on the corner of it. So anyway, when the prostitutes, like now I'm getting like hitting puberty and I'm thinking I'm being like fresh and I'm like tough, and so and I'm looking down on them thinking like I'm the shit and I'm throwing rocks at them. Like, oh, these are dirty. I remember one of them chased me down Huntington Street. And some older lady had to come out the house and defend me, right? So, and then, you know, like just life went on and I still kind of had that mindset. But then more of my friends started to get high. And I'm like, you disown them because they're scumbags. And that was like definitely a time, you know, when they were just like, you just stopped talking to them, like you didn't want to help them or nothing. But, and then you like, you kind of feel like because they've seen the pain from there, why would they go to it? Like you already knew, you kind of knew better, like, but, you know, sometimes people don't act that way. But then, like, so, you know, I cut off friends, was throwing rocks at hookers, you know, at like 10, and then years and years, I'm like adult, like thinking I'm living my best life, and I started getting high. So I'm like, now the same people I disowned got like 5-6 years sober, like trying to help me, and I wouldn't even help them, or the same ones I disowned, I'm just getting high with now, like because they still getting high, like that, you know what I mean? And I'm hanging out with the same prostitutes that I was throwing rocks at. So it was like definitely, it's just the original like being from Kensington was, you was like tough, you were like hard, loyal, like you just came from I don't know, like that, you just don't do that route, like if anything, like that's just beneath you. And like now Kensington only known as its drugs.
Yeah, well, last weekend, talking about what you just read to me, I ran into a little puppy, man, right, lost, asking for help, okay? I don't understand why a 30-year-old man don't know how to receive a Western Union. I just received a Western Union from my aunt. Before I did it, this guy I call puppy, right, because they don't know how to survive. They're not dogs out there, and I'm sure everybody knows what I mean by this now, right? Well, I received $180 from his family after negotiating all night to get a cab from Philly to Wilmington, Delaware. He's out-of-stater, okay? And he finally had enough because people that he thought was a friend rolled on him. Baseball bat, the whole 9 yards, mugged him, the whole 9 yards, you know. But he ran into me. I gave him a place to stay for the night and sent him home the next day. A success story. He's back with his 2 little kids. And